So, hello, and I welcome you back to my Chronicles about the stuff that I'm doing. My Chronicles that are right now rolling in Wales, and this is the fifth episode of the Chronicles. So, I welcome you all back, and I feel like I'm right now with a little bit of better spirit again, which is super duper nice. Just super duper nice to be back. So it's been raining a couple of days, and that made my spirit also go pretty low. So what I realized was that actually our moods and our way of being can go very, very much together with the rain and with the way the weather is. But today there was sun out again, and even 5 seconds in the sun can make you feel so much better, which is always amazing me. Just continuously. It never ceases to amaze me how it works and how it goes. So I also have to be kindling the fire here, as it's been pretty gloomy, so I feel like it's pretty nice to have a fire inside your home and inside your living place, inside your little hut where you are staying. Inside your kuti, if you please. Kuti is a way of calling a little hut where you are staying. I think the word is from Thailand. So anyway, just to introduce me again, I am Helena, and my Sufi name is Halima. I don't always say it, but sometimes I do say it, and it's actually nice to also keep that in mind, as it's not the name that I go by people. With people, I'm usually Helena, but you are always welcome to call me with my Sufi name as well. So what I would like to say is that I am basically a monk, a world traveler. I travel around the world and I go from place to place. I've also been I've been living this lifestyle for about 4 years now. I've been staying in different communities in different places, and I've also been living in streets. I've been accommodated by many great humans, many great people, and the lifestyle that I'm living is something that I thoroughly love, that I thoroughly find spiritually keeping me alive, basically, keeping me alive and happy, as I feel like it's super important for us human beings to realize how we are all spiritual beings. So, just to keep this in mind, in case you are somebody who lives a life that is like day to day working from 9 to 5, and you don't find a lot of time for these spiritual things in your world, then just to keep it in mind that even you are able to somehow find a way to do this. For example, I myself, I'm right now staying in a farm with people who are having the farm, and I stay in a small caravan. So in one of the episodes, I was saying that, or in the Chronicles, as I like to call them, I was saying that I was here with Luke, who is my great friend, and we were talking about paganism. So if you like to see that episode, then just skip behind a few videos, and there we go. There is me talking with another human instead of just me talking to myself. Um. But I have to admit that it is very good to be alone, to be with myself, because me myself, I'm actually a much more solitary person. And the reason for that is that I just find it much more spiritually helpful to be on my own, and to connect with the world through that. And so And I feel like the spiritual journey itself, it's a journey where you are usually with yourself and not without other beings, because other beings can always make you go astray. They can make you go into different directions that are not really the directions where your own spirit would like to be going. Um, and when you are with yourself, with your own spirit, then you can be more open to yourself. You can get into better attunement with your own being, and you are not so dependent on other people, on people you don't always want to be dependent upon. And you can also lose all sorts of false guilty feelings or feelings that you don't want to carry with you. Because when you're with yourself, you're relying on yourself, and you don't need to worry about anything else in the world, which is super duper cool and super good thing to do. So, for example, how I discovered spirituality by myself is just, I mean, when I was young, like I like to say from about 11 or 12 years old, this is when I started to get the sense that there is something greater in the world, something bigger in the world, and it is important. But because I was going to school this time and also had all sorts of other businesses that young people do have, then I wasn't able to follow the spirituality that much. And that's pretty sad. I mean, I used to be very depressed for many years, and just sort of cultivating the knowing inside. I mean, right now I'm 26. I'm not too old, but I'm also not in the years of being dependent on my parents and the school system and all of these other things that can keep young people, depressed and unhappy when they cannot do the things that they really need or want to be doing. So if you're one of those people who is, happy enough to have like a happy and good life being young as well, then you're probably doing pretty well. And I'm very, very happy for you. But anyway, when I was younger, this is the time when I was first, starting to cultivate the feeling that there is something greater in the world and that is important, that there actually is a meaning to life, and that meaning to life needs to be discovered, needs to be opened, and needs to be understood. So I always cultivated the feeling that when I myself, I am getting, older, then I have to go on a journey. I have to go traveling to understand these greater things. And I have to really go into meditation, really start, tuning into me, tuning into myself, tuning into the actual meaning. And for that to be happening, it is super, super duper important to go on a journey. So this is what I was feeling, that I have to leave everything behind in the world. I actually, how it happened was, and maybe I've been already telling this story because, how many stories can we have anyway? We are pretty limited in our humanity if we think that way. But in actuality, we are pretty unlimited. And that is also a great discovery when you start to understand that you yourself are connected to everything around you. And ultimately, your own body is also a thing that is, not really yourself. At least that is what the Buddhist people are saying. And I've been also talking about Buddhism in my channel and the Buddhist path. I was actually doing recently one of the videos in city or town called Lake Hock or something like this. And there I was filming in the inn that was the inn of the Harry Potter character Aberforth. And there I was talking about Buddhist path. I did a pretty lengthy video about it. Very, very interesting to do it and to also explore this thing. But right now I feel like I've been talking about Buddhism pretty many times. As I say, I also lived in a Buddhist monastery for 1 year, and this pretty much expanded my what is it called? Expanded my horizons. Expanded my horizons. Did a lot of meditation, maybe about 5 to 7 hours a day. We were meditating all the time in the morning and in the evening and in the afternoon, and well, anyway, it was super good time, super duper good time. And I learned a lot about, solving my own issues and crises. So this is also one thing that happened when I was traveling, and I like to mention it. I mention it very, very often to people because I feel like it's a very, very good basis to start talking from. People always get interested, and it's something that sort of immediately grounds the conversation down. It grounds it down, and it sort of opens up the spiritual world where we can have like a very long, very, very interesting talk about humanity, about spirituality, about meditation, and about all of these things. So if you see that my fire there looks like as if it's going to jump out of the burner, then actually this is not true. This is just a tiny little effect there, and actually the fire is pretty fine. It's just getting super warm here because it gets just super duper warm in this caravan very, very quickly. It's a very small caravan, and it's actually just a little corner here, but there is just two sleeping places and a lamp and a table. I've been doing a lot of writings during the rainy times, and a lot of drawings, a lot of paintings. When I was in Frome a few weeks ago, staying with another lady, with another very wonderful human being called Nikki, who I was making a crochet dress for, then she was also gifting me a box of watercolors, and I've been having very good time with them. Very, very good time. So I'm actually also thinking of gifting my colored stuff away, my paintings, because I've been liking to do these paintings and many, many things. But anyway, I'm trying to find a good subject of talking, a good subject of talking. Because initially I was thinking that I'll just be following the spirit of the fire. But as I was doing the fire, then I felt like the spirit of fire almost like got ahead of me. It got ahead of me, and while it got ahead of me, I mean, usually when I do the fire, I first sort of, gather like a spirit of intention around it. Because fire itself, it means intention. And when you put the, the play of fire and water together, then you know that the fire is the thing that is like intention, and the water is like the flow of it. But the fire is pure intention. It needs to purely go, and the water, the potential around it, has to be, potentially open and whirling for the fire to keep on going through the potential. So I always like to put these words into abstract, because I feel like abstract is the thing that helps you, understand the thing better. So when you have the potential and the fire, then you just, because if fire is burning and there is no potential for it, and it burns pretty stupidly, it just burns all the forest down. But when you have also, something else inside there, then it makes sort of like a play with it, and you're not so stuck with your own doing, but you are more in connection. And this is super good when it happens. It's actually super duper good when it happens. And I feel like it's day-to-day work to cultivate it. You always have to be meditating, you have to be so many things in order to keep your spiritual being going. Because otherwise, you just get into the worldly businesses. And I have to admit, I even feel it in here, in this place, where I'm staying with somebody, with people, so they are kind of relying on me as well when doing work with them. But when I'm staying on the streets, then I'm by myself. Then I'm by myself, and I don't have this peak of a reliance on anything or anybody. So then I'm very, very open, and the spirit is showing itself to me a lot more, a lot more. But it's also good to talk from here. So I try to be super honest because I want to do these videos. I always want to say I want to do it because I don't want to burden myself with expectations, and I want to keep it that way until it is saying to me that I have to do anything in another way, and then I follow in this way. But the way things are right now is that I even see from my own face, as the camera that I'm using now is just showing myself to me all the time, and I even see in my own face that I'm not so spiritually connected in this moment, and it is just like this, just the way it is. But I still want to continue making this because this is a part of my journey, and I want my journey to be honest. I want to make these video logs just for the sake of having them saved or having them recorded in the universe, and just for the sake of seeing how my journey is developing and going. And I actually said a few videos ago in the place where I was filming in the greenhouse that I want to do series where I'm specifically talking about specific things. But I have to say that everything just went very, very gloomy, so I haven't been able to do it right now. I haven't been able to do it, and then I also felt like not pressurizing it into making it happen. And I feel like anything that I'm talking about, really, when I talk about myself, for example, or anything that I talk about, it's actually about a wider understanding. Whatever I'm talking about, you can always take it and put it into a wider understanding about the world. And you don't have to see it in because when I'm talking, I also sort of expect that you are a person who likes to look inside and to be meditating as well. Then I always feel like you sort of you can take my words in a way that you apply them to yourself as well, and see where you can connect with the way of understanding that I am discussing about. And when you do that, then you're stopping thinking about me, myself, the talker here, and you're probably more of a starting to think about yourself or perceive about yourself, and about the things that are going on in your life, and how to connect these things in a way that doesn't make you feel pressurized as well as me myself. I feel like when I am under pressure, then things can go not so well. Things can go super badly. Or, for example, when being in a situation where one is like being stuck, then also you feel like your own spirit wants to do something grander and bigger and better, but you cannot do it because you just don't find a way for it. And then you have like this type of an agony in yourself, an agony which is saying that you have to be doing something greater and bigger, and you really want to find a way to it. But if you cannot find a way to it, then this is super duper painful, super duper painful. You just want to be alone and sit with this thing. And I always encourage people not to go moaning around and go asking for help from other beings. I mean, it is very good if you have a good friend who can help you. But very often in these situations, what we actually have to be doing or need to be doing is sitting with ourselves and meditating, just to understand what it is that we need to be understanding about ourselves. And what are these things that our own beings are trying to let us know, so that we don't make our minds too crowded with the stuff that is inside, making us believe and think about things that are not important, or things that we think that are super duper important, but we haven't been allowing ourselves to go through them and see that these things are actually not so important at all, that our own minds are just telling us stories of this and that. And that it is actually very, very good when we spend time in being alone, and in actually sitting with ourselves and seeing and understanding what the stuff is, what the things are that our any bit of ourselves really is trying to let us know. For example, you can talk to your stomach, you can talk to your knees, you can talk to your head, you can put a hand to your head and just try to channel the good thoughts from the universe into your head. And very many times this can also make you feel better. Or putting the hand in your heart, this can also make you feel better, more in touch with the way the situation is. But this doesn't mean that you need to be always running to somebody else and to let everybody know what is going on. But it's like the more you're sitting with yourself, the more you actually understand. The more you actually understand yourself, your own body, and your own being, and the more you're able to open up to your own self. And this is a process. If you're doing it, then you probably know it super well, that the process itself is something that, takes time and takes continuous effort to be inside the process, and to understand all of the changes that you yourself are going through, as well as to allow them to happen, and to be super duper forgiving for yourself when things don't go the way that you would like them to go. I mean, for me, as my mind can get very, very floaty, and I can have a lot of different ideas in my mind. I feel like my own mind can make up like 5 different plans, and still I want to, ground in one plan. But I've learned that what I need to be doing is putting my energy into these different areas to understand what am I trying to achieve with the plans. And then I can sort of unite them. For example, doing arts is super good for it, or doing writings to articulate the stuff that is inside you into like a way of of being more in tune with the world, more in tune and more connected with it. But what I also feel is that it is very, very important that you're just, whatever is happening, that you allow it to happen. You allow it to happen and you just try to keep in peace with it. Try to keep in peace with it and cultivate yourself in a way that you um, are not demonizing, that you are not demonizing, and that your own being also starts to see that whatever you are doing or saying to yourself or for the world, I mean, ultimately, it's all about you yourself. You yourself, and you yourself in the world. Because only you can be responsible for yourself. And if you are believing that more continuously, then you might even start to see that it is in this way. And that when it is in this way, then the connection with other human beings in your lives will also go a lot better if you're having like fights or other difficult stuff happening. Then you might understand that the more you are spending with yourself, more time you are spending with yourself being in peace or allowing yourself to be in peace, then the more you're doing this, the better will also go your own meetings with other human beings, and that you are much more better with keeping harmony in your life, for example. So these are the thoughts that I'm having. And I actually hope that they are very much helpful to you, that they are helpful to you, and that in any way you are doing them, you are able to understand and connect better. That you're not buying into anybody's false ideas that you yourself are not making sense to somebody or whatever, because when you're a spiritual human being, you don't always need to make sense to the world. When you have good friends and good people around you who can, who you can be in contact with and communicating with, then you also know that these people understand you, and you don't need to go into the crazy society, so-called crazy society, where nobody so-called doesn't understand you. I mean, what I believe in is that in actuality, everybody is your friend, and everybody has a good heart. Everybody is your friend, and you don't need to worry about any type of threat or anything that could happen to you. And now the picture has gone out of my speech. So I hope that you're not too disturbed about it, because you don't actually have to look at me. You can just look at yourself. You can just tune into yourself and into your own being and see what you can find inside yourself, what you are finding inside yourself. If there is any type of thoughts that are resonating with you, any type of human beings who are trying to, connect with you, what are the feelings that are arising, what are the thoughts that are arising, and how crazy they can make you go, how crazy they can make your own being go, and how many times do you actually believe into those thoughts at all? Or, for example, what is the nature of a thought? So these are the things that are super interesting to think about. What is the nature of your own being? What is the nature of a thought? And does your own being even exist? Does any thought even have like power over anything at all? Or anything that you are saying, does this have power over something else that is arising inside yourself? And how much do you actually, let yourself to go with these thoughts and the ideas that are going on? Or how much do you yourself feed the mental agony that these thoughts can create? So they can sound a little bit depressive, but in actuality, these things are not depressive at all. They're just thoughts and they're just flying. It's just the practice of allowing yourself to calm down in places and with stuff. Even though I know that I can come off of depressive, but I also, for example, when I'm with human beings, I like to keep this highly joyful and highly interesting. So it's like a balance that I also suggest to you. It's like when you're with yourself to keep it peaceful and nice and understanding. So you know you are in good contact with yourself. But when you are with humans, keep it very spiritually alive so that it can, come and go very, very nicely and easily. Because when you're with yourself and you are super crazy all the time, then this can make you go a little bit out of hand. It can be like fun for a while, but then you'll again have to calm yourself down and get peaceful again. Because other way you drive yourself so crazy that you just finally explode and fall apart, and that's pretty painful when it happens. So just watching your mind, this is super interesting. As I like to always give the advice that has been helpful to myself. And to keep on watching your mind, whatever you are doing, in your any doing and any beingness. When you're doing some work or going around doing your business, going for a walk in the nature, then I also suggest you to always just watch and see what is happening. What is the world trying to tell you? And what is the way how you are answering to the world and how you are in communion with it. So these are the little advices and thoughts that I'm having right now, and I hope that they are in some sort of a way useful, in some sort of a way helping you yourself to see further, to understand further, and to just basically increase your own well-being in the world. Because it's all a journey. It's a journey. We're walking from this place to another place, and we are in a continuous journey. In a continuous journey, and we would like it to be well, and we would like it to be good. This is what is inside the heart of any human being. So, this is it. I hope that any of it was good for you. If it was, then I'm happy for you. You can always leave a comment or a like for me. You can share my stuff with other human beings. Or you can, just send me anything that you like, really. Send me anything. Write a story about you for me if you like. Or connect with any of the media that I have. I do have a Facebook account and an Instagram account. And you're very, very welcome to connect there as well. If you just want to talk to me or be in touch or however it goes. So anyway, I am thanking everybody who has had the attention to stay here until the end of it. And I wish you a beautiful day, a good day, and a happy continuation. For the Chronicles will always happen. It will always happen. So, goodbye, and may you be